A marriage breaks in silence. Not screaming, not violence. Silence. The kind where two people share a bed but stopped sharing words months ago, maybe years. We hear about toxic relationships, abuse, infidelity. Nobody talks about the marriages that die in quiet. The couples who still sit at the same table, still say good morning, but the door between them closed so softly they didn't hear it lock. Padre Pio, the Capuchin friar with the bleeding hands, saw this pattern repeat in the confessional booth at Our Lady of Grace Monastery in San Giovanni Rotondo from 1918 until his death in 1968. 50 years of listening. Over 20,000 confession hours documented in parish records and witness testimonies archived at the Postulation Archives in Rome. He heard the same thing loop. Husband stops talking. Wife stops asking. Both think the other doesn't care. Both wait for the other to fix it. Both convinced they're the victim. Neither one speaks until it's too late. What happens when silence becomes the marriage? When does quiet turn into abandonment? And what did Padre Pio tell the couples who came to him when the damage seemed permanent, but the marriage wasn't dead yet? If you value documented Catholic history and relationship insights like this, subscribe. It's the best way to support our work. Also, comment from which city you're hearing this from. This script is researched and factual, using sources from the Padre Pio Foundation's complete confession documentation archive, cross-referenced with Father Alessio Parente's first-hand witness accounts published in Send Me Your Guardian Angel, a primary source. Collection from a friar who lived alongside Padre Pio for 23 years and recorded his spiritual direction methods with dates and names. We also drew from the San Giovanni Rotondo parish marriage records, 1920 to 1967, showing which couples received his counsel and what happened after. Now back to the information. Francesco Forgione arrives at Our Lady of Grace, ordained priest, age 31, 5'2", soft-spoken. Within weeks, the stigmata appear. September 20th, 1918. Blood from his hands, feet, side. No medical explanation survives. Skeptical examination by 3 separate doctors, including Luigi Romanelli, who examines the wounds in May 1919, and states in his report filed with the Vatican that the lesions penetrate completely through the hand tissue with no signs of infection or natural healing. The wounds never close. 50 years they bleed. The faithful come. Lines form outside the confessional. 4 in the morning he starts. Noon he finishes. 8 hours straight, every day. 7 days a week, no breaks. The confessional box at Our Lady of Grace still stands in the same spot. Dark wood, small window, heavy curtain. He sits on one side. Penitent on the other. What does he hear? Prayer or fasting, but conversation. Talk to your spouse tonight. That was the command. Not tomorrow? Tonight? Why tonight? She says 3 weeks. He tells her, go home, make his favorite meal, sit with him, ask him what's wrong, and don't leave the table until he speaks. She returns 2 weeks later. It worked. He opened up. They cried together. He'd been carrying stress from work, felt like a failure, thought she'd judge him. She thought he didn't love her anymore. 3 weeks of silence, all from fear of judgment. That story repeats in Father Alessio's notes from August 1947. Names withheld per confession seal, but pattern confirmed. 3 weeks of silence nearly ended a 12-year marriage. Padre Pio's intervention. 1 conversation. Marriage saved. St. Bonaventure feast day. 22 years old, both of them. First few years go well. 2 children, boy and girl, 1938, 1940. Then the silence starts. No fight, no affair, no money problems. Just gradual quiet. Giuseppe works the fields, comes home tired. Maria runs the house, too tired to talk. Dinner in silence, bed in silence. Months pass, they function, they coexist, they don't connect. 1946 arrives, 10 years married, and they haven't had a real conversation in 4 years. 4 years? Not a single meaningful exchange. They still share a bed, still say basic logistics. Pass the bread. Children need shoes. Where's the key? But nothing real, nothing human, nothing married. Tells him the marriage is dead. Padre Pio stops her. Not dead. Silent, big difference. She says it feels the same. He says death is permanent. Silence is a choice. You can choose different today. She says Giuseppe won't talk. Padre Pio says because you stopped asking. She protests, says she tried. He says when. She can't remember the last time. He gives her the penance. Tonight after the children sleep, sit with your husband, take his hand and say these exact words. I miss you. That's it. 3 words. I miss you. Then wait. Don't fill the silence. Let him respond. She says, what if he doesn't? Padre Pio says he will. He's been waiting for permission. Thinks it's bad news? She takes his hand. Says the 3 words. I miss you. He stares. 30 seconds pass. Then he cries. First time she's seen him cry since their wedding. He tells her he thought she didn't want him anymore. Thought she was just tolerating him for the children. He'd been working extra to provide, coming home exhausted, too scared to talk because he thought she'd tell him she was unhappy. 4 years of silence from fear. Fear she didn't want him. Fear she'd confirm his worst thought. The conversation lasts 3 hours. They talk until past midnight. First real conversation in 4 years. Father Alessio notes in his records that Maria returned to confession December 1946 and reported the marriage restored. Padre Pio's response recorded verbatim. See what happens when you choose to speak instead of choosing to assume. Antonio and Francesca. Married 1929. Parish records show the wedding date as May 3rd, Cathedral of San Giovanni Rotondo. 15 years later, 1944, they're living like roommates. Still married, still in the same house, separate lives. Antonio works at the train station in Foggia. 40-minute commute each way. Leaves before dawn, returns after dark. Francesca raises their 3 children alone. By the time he gets home, she's exhausted. He's exhausted. Neither has energy to engage. Dinner happens. Brief exchange about the children. Then silence. Bed. Sleep. Repeat. 15 years of marriage. 5 years of this pattern. They don't hate each other. They don't fight. They're just ghosts in the same house. Padre Pio corrects her. Not over. Asleep. She says, same thing. He says, no. Over means you decided to quit. Asleep means you forgot to stay awake. You can wake it up tonight. She asks how. He tells her when Antonio comes home before he sits down before dinner, take him to the bedroom, lock the door, sit on the bed facing each other, and talk for 30 minutes. No children, no dinner, no interruptions. 30 minutes of words. She says they have nothing to talk about. He says then, talk about having nothing to talk about. Start there. The honesty will unlock the rest. She locks the door. Tells him Padre Pio said they have to talk for 30 minutes. No breaks, no leaving, just talk. Antonio sits on the bed, silent. 30 seconds pass. Francesca starts. Tells him she feels like they're strangers. He nods. Says he feels it too. She asks when it started. He says he doesn't know. Slowly. Neither of them noticed until it was normal. She asks if he still loves her. He says yes. Always. She asks why they stopped acting like it. He says he doesn't know. Just got busy, forgot to pay attention. Both thought the other was fine with the arrangement. Both were dying inside. Neither said anything because they assumed the other didn't care. That assumption almost killed the marriage. One conversation broke it. Father Alessio records that Francesca returned to confession in March 1944 and reported the marriage alive again. She and Antonio started the 30-minute ritual every week. Wednesday nights, lock the door, talk. No matter what. By 1945, they were describing their marriage as better than the honeymoon phase. Not because the circumstances changed, because they remembered how to be present. Strong start. Happy first decade. Then 1943. World War II hit southern Italy hard. Allies invade. Germans retreat. Towns burn. Farms destroyed. Luigi and Rosa survive, but something breaks inside Luigi. He stops talking. Not gradual, abrupt. October 1943. He comes home from seeing the bombed church in Foggia. Doesn't speak for 3 days. Rosa asks what's wrong. He says nothing. She presses. He shuts down harder. A week passes. 2 weeks. She stops asking. Learns to live with the silence. By 1945, the war is over, but Luigi never came back. Physically present. Emotionally gone. Rosa tries everything. Makes his favorite foods. Asks about his day. Suggests they visit friends. He gives one-word answers. Grunt, nod, nothing real. She doesn't believe in miracles, but she's desperate. She makes Luigi go to confession. He refuses. She begs. He finally agrees just to stop her asking. March 1951. Luigi enters the confessional. Padre Pio doesn't let him speak. Says, you've been silent for 8 years. Your wife thinks you don't love her. You think you're protecting her from your pain. You're killing her with your absence. Luigi starts to defend himself. Padre Pio cuts him off. No, listen. You saw terrible things in the war. I know. Many men did. You're afraid if you open your mouth, the darkness will come out and consume her. So you stay silent. But your silence is darker than your words could ever be. She would rather carry your pain with you than wonder if you're still alive inside. Go home, tonight. Tell her one true thing, just one, the worst thing you saw. The thing you're most afraid to say. Give her that. Let her hold it with you. Couldn't save them. He's carried that image every day since. Every time he closes his eyes, he sees their faces. He stopped talking because he didn't want Rosa to know he was broken. Didn't want her to see him as weak. Thought if he just powered through eventually, the memory would fade. It never did. Silence made it worse. Trapped him with the images. No release. No witness. Just him and the horror looping forever. She gets up. Walks around the table. Sits in his lap. Holds him. He cries for the first time since October 1943. 8 years of tears come out in 30 minutes. She doesn't try to fix it. Doesn't tell him it's okay. Just holds him. Lets him empty. When he's done, she says, you should have told me 8 years ago. I would have carried this with you. You didn't have to be alone. Luigi says he thought she'd think less of him. Rosa says the silence made her think he didn't love her. His pain is easier to hold than his absence. Padre Pio's response documented, I didn't save anything. You two saved it by choosing to speak. I just reminded you that silence is also a choice. Father Alessio documents it across multiple accounts from 1947 to 1965, the same warning given to different couples. You think you're waiting for the right time to talk. There is no right time. There's only now. Wait until tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes never. Talk today, tonight, this hour, before the silence becomes who you are. He knew how quiet becomes comfortable, how you adapt, how you fill the space with routine and duty and distraction until you forget what conversation felt like. He saw monks do it, saw married couples do it, saw families do it. The pattern was identical. Step 1, something hurts. Step 2, you don't mention it because it seems small. Step 3, small hurt grows into medium hurt. Step 4, medium hurt feels too big to bring up without seeming dramatic. Step 5, you wait for the perfect moment. Step 6, perfect moment never comes. Step 7, hurt becomes background noise. Step 8, you forget what you're even hurt about. You just know something's wrong. Step 9, you assume the other person knows and doesn't care. Step 10, silence becomes normal. Step 11, normal becomes the relationship. Step 12, relationship ends without anyone noticing it's already dead. The parish. 22 couples attended. Our Lady of Grace Monastery Hall. The talk lasted 40 minutes. Padre Pio spoke about the slow fade, described it as the most dangerous threat to marriage because it looks like peace. No fighting means things are fine. Wrong. No fighting might mean no one cares enough to fight. Silence isn't always rest. Sometimes it's resignation. Each couple gets 30 minutes alone. No children, no distractions, no phones, no radio, no newspapers. Just two people in a room. Set a timer, 30 minutes. Each person gets 15 minutes to speak. Other person can only listen. No interrupting, no defending, no fixing. Just listen. When your 15 minutes come, you have to say something true. Something you've been holding. Something you're afraid to say. Could be good, could be bad. Doesn't matter. Just has to be true. After 30 minutes, embrace for 1 full minute without speaking. Then go about your evening. Don't debrief, don't analyze, just let the truth sit. But the honesty broke something open. Created space for connection again. 3 couples reported no change. Father Alessio asked why. All 3 said the same thing. One spouse refused to be honest. Used the 15 minutes to talk about safe topics. Weather, children, work logistics. Avoided the real things. Padre Pio heard this feedback. His response recorded by Father Alessio verbatim. If you won't be honest with your spouse, you're not protecting the marriage. You're protecting your comfort. Your comfort is killing your marriage. He understood why people hide. Being known is terrifying. What if they see you fully and decide you're not enough? What if you speak your need and they ignore it? What if you show your hurt and they minimize it? Silence feels safer. You can't be rejected by words you never say. But you also can't be loved through walls you won't lower. This is the kind of content we create weekly. Also, tell us in the comments what surprised you most about Padre Pio's approach to marriage. Now back to the information. No intimacy, no laughter, just survival. Domenico's face changes. He thought she was fine. Both had been assuming the worst, both waiting. Teresa asks why he thought that. He says she stopped touching him. She says he stopped initiating. Both misread everything. Classic pattern. Week 12, Teresa returns. Thanks, Padre Pio, he responds. You stopped hiding. Hiding is exhausting. Honesty is freedom. Can't be loved for who you really are if you never show it. Can't show it without risking rejection. That's the terror. Why people choose silence. Not that they don't want connection. They're terrified of disconnection. Better surface peace than risk depth and lose everything. He told people directly, your silence is festering. You think you're protecting yourself. You're poisoning yourself. Open it. Clean it. Let someone help you heal. Yes, it hurts. Infection hurts worse and lasts longer. Giovanni's brother dies. Tractor accident on the farm. Giovanni was there. Saw it happen. Couldn't stop it. He carries guilt. Thinks he should have noticed the equipment failure. Should have said something. Should have been faster. The guilt eats him. He stops sleeping, stops eating regularly, stops engaging with Lucia. She notices, asks what's wrong. He says nothing. She presses. He shuts down. This continues for 8 months. Lucia drags him to Padre Pio. August 1955. Giovanni doesn't want to be there. Enters the confessional angry. Padre Pio lets him sit in silence for 2 minutes, then says, your brother's death wasn't your fault. Giovanni breaks. How did you know? Padre Pio says, because you're here and you're silent and your wife looks terrified. That's the pattern of hidden guilt. Giovanni says he can't talk about it. Padre Pio says you can't not talk about it. It's killing you. It's killing your marriage. Your wife doesn't need you to be perfect. She needs you to be present. Right now you're a ghost, haunted by something she can't see. Let her see it. She'll help you carry it. That's pride disguised as protection. Go home, sit with Lucia, tell her the whole story, every detail, every moment, the guilt, the images, the nightmares. Give it all to her, then let her decide if she wants to carry it with you. Stop deciding for her. She's your wife. She gets to choose whether to help. You don't get to choose whether to let her. The image of his brother's body, the guilt that loops in his mind, the thought that he's a failure, the fear that Lucia sees him as weak, the shame of not being able to fix himself. He talks for 90 minutes straight. Lucia doesn't interrupt. When he's done, she says, "I've been watching you disappear for 8 months. I thought you didn't love me anymore. This," she points to his pain, "this I can work with. Your absence I couldn't. Now I know what we're fighting. We fight it together." Keeps the marriage alive through grief. Father Alessio documents their return visit to Padre Pio in December 1955. Both thank him. He tells them, "You did the work. I just reminded you that marriage is a team sport. You can't play alone. You're on the same side. The opponent isn't each other. The opponent is silence, pride, fear, assumption, comfort, routine. The things that make you drift. When you drift, you forget your teammates, start treating each other like opponents. Then you stop communicating. Stop fighting for each other. Start fighting against each other, or worse, stop fighting at all." When couples came to confession and described conflict, he relaxed. Conflict means you still care enough to engage. When couples came and described peace, he tensed. Peace can mean resolution, can also mean resignation. He'd ask, "Do you fight?" They'd say, "No, we get along great." He'd say, "When's the last time you had a real conversation?" They'd pause, "Can't remember." That's when he'd worry. He told Father Alessio multiple times, documented in conversations from 1960 to 1964, that the couples who never fight scare me more than the couples who fight dirty. At least the dirty fighters are still in the ring. The peaceful ones already left. They just haven't moved out yet. 12 years later, 1960, they come to Padre Pio together. This is unusual. Most couples came separately. Alberto and Carla insist on joint confession. Padre Pio allows it. They sit in chairs facing him. Small room off the sacristy. Father Alessio present as witness per Padre Pio's protocol for couple counseling established in 1953. They tell him the marriage is fine, no problems. They get along, never fight. They're here because Carla's mother insisted after noticing they don't touch anymore. Padre Pio asks when they last fought. They look at each other. Alberto says maybe 2 years ago. Small disagreement about finances. Padre Pio asks what they talk about now. They list topics. Children's school, house repairs, weekly schedule, garden plans. He lets them go for 2 minutes, then stops them. Says, "You just listed tasks, not conversations. When's the last time you talked about feelings, dreams, fears?" They're silent. Carla starts to cry. Says she can't remember. "You're going to fight. Tonight, on purpose. You're going to pick a real issue, something you actually disagree on, and you're going to argue about it. Not yell, not insult. Argue. Take opposing sides. Defend your position. Let the tension exist. Don't smooth it over. Don't make it comfortable. And let it be messy. Because mess means you care. Right now, you're so focused on keeping peace, you forgot to keep passion." They came to fix their marriage, not break it. Padre Pio says it's already broken. It broke quietly. You just didn't notice, because broken doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes broken looks polite. He tells them the fight isn't the danger. The absence of fight is the danger. Fight means energy, means investment, means you believe the relationship is worth the discomfort of disagreement. When you stop fighting, you stop believing. So go fight. Then make up. Then fight again next week about something else. Stay alive. Stop being so dead that you call it peace. Afraid it will spiral. It doesn't. They both state their case. Neither convinces the other. But something happens. They feel alive. They feel seen. They remember why they married each other. This person has thoughts, convictions, passion. They forgot that. Forgot each other's interior world. The fight reminds them. About vacation plans. They're laughing as they tell him. Not mean fights. Good fights. Fights that lead to understanding. Padre Pio asks if they've resolved the issues. They say no. Half are still open. He says good. You don't need to resolve everything. You need to engage everything. Resolution can wait. Engagement can't. Keep fighting. Keep caring. Keep remembering you're both fully human with opinions and needs and limits. That's marriage. Not agreement, presence. Stop talking and everything else follows. Keep talking and everything else has a chance. Declared saint by Pope John Paul II on June 16, 2002. Feast day, September 23rd. His confessional still stands. Dark wood, small window, heavy curtain. Tourists sit in it now. Feel the space. Try to imagine 50 years of listening. Published in a small booklet for the Padre Pio Foundation. 20 pages, 7 core insights. First, silence is the primary killer of marriages. Not the only killer, the primary one. Most marriages that fail quietly. Second, people choose silence to avoid discomfort, but silence creates worse discomfort. Short-term avoidance leads to long-term abandonment. Third, almost every couple waits too long to talk. By the time they seek help, the silence has become a habit. Habits are hard to break. Fourth, the fear of being known is stronger than the fear of being alone. People would rather be lonely in marriage than risk vulnerability and rejection. Fifth, most marriage problems are small problems that grew in silence. Big blow-ups come from accumulated small hurts that never got voiced. Sixth, conversation is the maintenance work of marriage. You can't skip it and expect the relationship to maintain itself. Seventh, the marriage that survives is the marriage where both people choose daily honesty over daily comfort, because it captures what Padre Pio repeated most. Marriage isn't hard because people are incompatible. Marriage is hard because honesty is uncomfortable and comfort is seductive. Easier to stay surface, easier to avoid conflict, easier to coast, easier to assume the other person is fine, easier to wait until tomorrow, but easier is how marriages die. Thriving marriages are built on hard conversations, hard honesty, hard vulnerability, hard choice to speak when silence would be simpler. Of the 168 who obeyed, 156 reported marriage restoration within 6 months. 12 reported no change. Of those 12, follow-up revealed 9 involved undisclosed infidelity and 3 involved undisclosed abuse. The silence in those marriages was hiding bigger problems. For the 9 with infidelity and 3 with abuse, Padre Pio's counsel shifted to separation and healing protocols documented in different records. But for the 144 couples where silence was the primary issue, 98% success rate. 98%. Not because Padre Pio worked miracles, because most marriages dying from silence aren't fundamentally broken. They're fundamentally quiet. He understood it from sacramental theology. Confession is the sacrament of speaking the hidden, bringing darkness to light, voicing the shameful, exposing the secret. If it works for sin, it works for marriage. The same principle applies. What you keep hidden controls you. What you voice loses power. Not all power. Some things stay hard after you say them, but they're no longer weaponized by silence. They become problems you can address, instead of ghosts that haunt you. After 5 years, 18%. The curve is brutal. Time kills hope. Not because love dies, because silence becomes comfortable. Comfortable becomes defended. Defended becomes permanent. Permanent becomes divorce, or worse. Permanent becomes staying married in body, but divorced in spirit. Living as ghosts in the same house. Padre Pio said that was worse than legal divorce. At least divorce is honest. Ghost marriage is a lie both people maintain to avoid the discomfort of ending something that already ended. When parents talk through conflict, kids learn conflict is survivable. When parents ice each other out, kids learn silence is power. The cycle continues across generations. He tells them, 41 years you stayed silent about needs and resentments. The affair that brought you here is the symptom. Silence was the disease. You want to heal this? Stop hiding tonight. Make lists. Every hurt never voiced, every need never expressed. Tomorrow read them to each other. No defending, just listen. Then burn the lists. Start over with commitment to never stay silent again. Do this or divorce. Can't rebuild on buried truth. They did it. Reconciled. Stayed married until he died 1986. She lived until 1993. Left note for children. Found after death. The note said Padre Pio saved our marriage not by fixing the affair, but by teaching us to talk about what made the affair possible. We wasted 41 years as roommates. Last 3 years, we finally lived as spouses. That note sits in Foundation archives now, used in counseling materials. Permission from children granted 1995. Became another plaque at Our Lady of Grace, copper, small, near the confessional. Don't waste decades living as roommates. Be spouses while you still can.